welcome back for recorded session number 3. Last time we went over just a real simple idea called problem strings, and we're going to do those a lot through the year where we have one problem that can help us solve a couple other problems. You'll see more as we go through the year what I mean by those. The last one was okay, but you'll see more as we go along. Today we're going to go over just a few of the models that you can use to do some multiplication problems. There's going to be 4 of them. 2 of them I think you might have seen before, and the last 2 you may have seen, but if you haven't, that's okay. We're actually going to cover the last 2 a lot this year, so if you don't know how to do it, do not worry, because you're not supposed to know how to do them. If you do, thumbs up. But the first one is just simple skip counting, and for a multiplication problem. So if we have 3 times 8, a lot of you guys do this in your head already. You say, so you know that you have 3 groups of 8, so you'll go 8, 16, 24. That's as simple as that, skip counting. You can do it for 4 times 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. Sometimes to help you out, if you want, you can go back to that number line. That's skip counting, believe it or not. So you can go 8, 16, 24. Or if I was using the other example, you can go with the 5s, you can go 5. You can add all the information in here you want. You did a plus 5, and that was once. 10, 15, 20. And again, if you want, you can add in plus 5 every time. And you can add 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, 4 jumps. That's skip counting. It will always work. But let's see if we can find a slightly more efficient way, because drawing all this out sometimes gets really old and tiring, and you're putting a lot of work into something, drawings, that you don't always have to. So let's look at our second strategy here. I'm going to put up our 4 times 5. Our second strategy is going to be repeated addition. And so that's just the same thing you're doing before, is 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24. And there's a quicker way to do that than the number line. So this one is 8 plus 8 plus 8. And that I get here is I get a 16, and 16 plus 8 is 24. Again, a little bit more efficient than the number line, not having to draw out all those pictures. But let's see if we can write this in a way that makes it a little bit cleaner. And by cleaner, I just mean easier to read. So one of the things that I, Mr. B, loves to use, we're going to use it all the time, is a thing that looks like this. Simple ratio table. You can make them like a whole table where it's all the way filled in, and you have the different lines and stuff like that. But again, that starts to become a lot of effort. So when I draw mine, I just like to have a ratio table that looks like this. And this helps me with my repeated addition. So if I have 1 8, it's worth 8. If I have 2 8s, it's worth 16. If I have 3 8s, it's worth 24. So as you can see, this is a lot quicker than doing that number line where you have to add all those little plus 8s and all that stuff in there. And it works really well because you can see that 1 8's worth 8, 2 of them is worth 16, 3 8's is worth 24. We can also draw it with this one right here. If I have 1 5, it's worth 5 total. 2 5's is 10, 3 5's is 15, and 4 5's is 20. A cool thing about ratio tables, I'm giving you a little sneak peek, is we have this ratio table here, but sometimes you can make bigger jumps. What about this one? If I had 10 fives, what's it worth? And if you don't know, that's okay, because we're going to get to this. But if I had 10 fives, yeah, 50. So you can see that you can make some big jumps and save yourself from time. That's how it becomes more efficient than a number line. All right, our next method. So far we have skip counting, or like using a number line. The next one is we have repeated addition, or using that ratio table. This one is called a tile array. Let me show you what that is before you start to go, oh, I don't know what that is. So a tile array is just like finding an area of a rectangle or square. So an array is, I take 3, and I'm going to make a line down here and cut it into 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3. And right here I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to cut it into 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now if I draw all these lines out like this, and I draw the 3's out here like this, let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have a 3 by 8. I'm going to put 3 here by 8. And now, if I want to find out how many total squares there are, you can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24. And that gives you that same answer. So this works. It seems like a lot of work now, but it works with some bigger problems is what we're going to get into later on. And we can do the same thing for 4 times 5. You would draw 4 down the side, 5 squares across the top, divide a square into 5 pieces across the top, and then you can count the things. One thing that you could do to speed up this process, instead of counting each square by itself, you can group them into groups. So here, I'm going to do a different color here so you can see. This group right here in purple is worth 8. Because you have 8 across, and it's only 1 high. Here's another group of 8, and here's another group of 8. So if you wanted to speed up your counting, you can go 8, 8, and 8. And that, again, will give you 24. This is pretty good, but again, it's just like the number line. There's a lot of drawing in it. So what we can do to speed it up is what we call the area model. And we are going to do a lot of that this year. If you don't have it right away, that's okay. It's going to look the exact same. I have my square here, and I have an 8 on the top and a 3 on the sides. Instead of drawing all those things out, if you need a little helper, you can draw it out like this. I always draw just one side, and I know that there's 3 here, and there was 8 here, but I don't want to draw those all out. But remember what we said last time, we saw a group right here of 8, so I can go 8, 8, and 8. And you add them up, and it gets 24. Eventually, as soon as we get all of our math facts awesomely down, we'll just know when we look here that we see 8 times 3, we can just put it right in that box. 24. Boom. Done. That is our goal to get up to, is to just see our area model like this. Know that you have 8 squares here and 3 going down this way. You don't have to draw them out. You just know that 3 groups of 8 is 24. We will get there, I promise. That was a lot for this lesson. If you have any questions and stuff like that, we will go over it in the live session, and I will see you then. Bye.